advertisers of WLAF TV 12, 1450 WLAF Radio, FM 100.9, or 1450WLAF.com.
When every second counts, count on Vital Care MedTrans. You do have a choice when it comes to ambulance service in this area. So when you call 911, ask for the best.
Wait a minute, are you Vital Care?
Yes, we are.
Good.
State-of-the-art equipment and a well-trained staff who stand ready to respond to your call. That's Vital Care MedTrans, when nothing but the best will do.
Are we live?
Live.
Okay, folks. I'm watching the opening on the thing here. We've got a new sponsor on the show, and I'm watching the ad as we go because on the computer, you know, it's about a 7 to 10 second delay, so I'm watching it just to see what it looks like. So, welcome to the show. I'm Jerry Chadwell. We're Vital Care is now one of our sponsors to the show. You know, you saw the ad, and we've got a little sign here, and I'm going to get a bigger sign made up for them. So hopefully you can see that up front. 562-9370 is their phone number. So if you've got, if you've got an issue, you can call them directly. Or I talked to Mr. Bond, John Bond, yesterday evening. If you call 911. You can ask for Vital Care and they will get the call. Otherwise, it'll go to the Campbell County Ambulance Service. But if you ask directly for Vital Care, then they will get the 911 will call Vital Care and send them folks out to you. So 2 or 3 things we can get into tonight. It's just whatever your pleasure is. We had our first, as you know, I now told you last week, I'm on the committee for the Citizens Committee on the search for the Director of Schools. I'm on that committee, and we had our first meeting last night. A very productive meeting, a very civil meeting. Everybody was friendly, and it went very well. We set some of the parameters for the Director of School search, some of the qualifications. We're having another meeting tomorrow evening. As far as I know, they are public meetings if you want to come. I think at these meetings, the citizens are not going to have any input, but you're welcome to come and see the proceedings. And then later on, after the application period, I think there's a 30-day period, and then there's a 2 or 3 week interview session. They are going to have at least 2 or 3 interview sessions that are going to be public. That only members of the school board are allowed to ask questions, and that's state law, folks. There's nothing anybody can do about that. That's state law. But you are, as citizens, you're welcome to submit, what you think might be a good question to ask somebody who is a candidate for Director of Schools, and they may include your question. I don't know that they would. Don't know if they, but the citizens are allowed to have some input with your school board member. Let them know. Say, hey, this is what if you want to call in here, I invited you last week, and I'll do so again this week. If you want to call in here and talk about what you'd like to see in a new Director of Schools, and I will tell you this. I've talked to Donnie Poston. Donnie is going to be here on this show on May 6th. Might try to get him before then, but I've got him committed on May 6th. Donnie's going to be here. And of course, he's going to be discussing, his, 3 or 4 years as Director of Schools. I forget what the time, I think it's 4. He's going to be discussing his 4 years and his retirement. But he's going to be here on I think it's May 6th. If it's a Wednesday, let me see that for sure. Yeah, May 6th. Donnie, Director of Schools, Donnie Poston is going to be here. We're going, so we'll have, they can stay as long as you want him to stay, it's going to be, Donnie's going to be, I guess, what do you call it? Celebrating his retirement. He's been in the school system. I think he told me it's well over 40 years. I'm not sure how many years it is, but it's well over 40 years. So we've got that. We've got next Monday night, the county commission is going to take 2 votes on leadership positions in the county. They're going to vote. My understanding is they're going to vote on the new ambulance director. They're also going to vote on the interim road superintendent. I don't know if you'd call it the interim road superintendent or the permanent road superintendent, till the next election, but that seat was up anyway at the next election. But whoever gets appointed by the county commission at the next Monday night's meeting will be going to, they'll have to run for the seat in August of 2016. But again, that seat was up in August of 2016 anyway. Again, folks, next Monday night, the ambulance director, the road superintendent, I try to go to as many of these meetings as I can. It'd be good for some of you folks to go to some of these meetings, see how, these positions are announced or given and passed, handed out, voted on, and, just see how your local body of legislature works. Another thing that, we can talk about any of that, talk about anything you want to talk about. But another thing I just came across, WBIR announced that, and I know there's a couple of people will be interested in this, the legislature was discussing doing away with the handgun carry permits. And apparently in the subcommittee, and I've went to the subcommittee, and I've got the names and the party affiliation of all the people on that subcommittee, killed that idea. So there's people already on here saying, well, it's because people get paid for the training classes, and it costs, I think somebody said it's $115 for your permit. Why are they going to give up that money? One question I would have, I don't have a handgun carry permit. I don't have a carry permit. Is that a one-time fee? I know somebody out there knows. Is that a one-time fee, or is that a fee that you have to renew so often, kind of like a driver's license? When you get that carry permit, there it is. A bid to end Tennessee carry permit requirements has failed in the House. The plan was defeated Wednesday afternoon on a voice vote in the Civil Justice Committee. Okay, so I went to the state legislature's website. Actually, I Googled up Tennessee Civil Justice Subcommittee, and if you folks want to contact, you can Google it up, Tennessee Civil Justice Subcommittee, and it'll take you to, you can get to this page. Apparently, Representative Jim Cooley, who is a Republican out of Bartlett, Tennessee, which is part of Shelby County, is the chairman of this subcommittee. And then you have on the committee itself, Representative Carson Beck, a Democrat out of Nashville. And then you have Representative Mike Carter, a Republican out of Ooltewah. That's down near Chattanooga. Representative Sherry Jones, a Democrat out of Nashville. Representative John Lundberg, a Republican out of Bristol. And Representative Lee Wilburn, a Republican out of Somerville. I guess that's part of Hardeman County near McNairy or something. McNairy County, it says it's part of Fayette County, part of McNairy County, and part of Hardeman County. That's a lot of counties for one representative. So on this subcommittee, you have 4 Republicans and 2 Democrats, and they killed this handgun carry, doing away with the handgun carry permit, if I'm reading this article right. They killed that. So, I know there's a lot of folks in Campbell County that love to have their guns. And, and then folks feel like, it's your constitutional right to carry a gun without being harassed about having to pay some kind of fee just to carry your gun. Okay, well, this, and I'm a Republican, folks, but this Republican-dominated legislature, they have a super majority down there. The Republicans vote on something. There's really nothing the Democrats at this point can do about it. So you've got your, I hate to say this, some people feel like, the governor tried to get in this Insure Tennessee and help out. I guess the number was 270-some thousand Tennesseans that are underinsured or lacking insurance, that need insurance. The Republican legislature killed that. I really don't know the details on that. Maybe somebody out there does that can enlighten us on that. And now we've got the Republican legislature saying, hey, we want to keep charging you for those handgun carry permits. We're not going to do away with those. But then, you also have people on here that, are saying, that have commented already that, it's not just everybody that needs to be carrying a gun, So, I'm kind of in that group that, I don't think just anybody out there needs to be carrying a gun, and but if you want to contact some of these folks, it's easy to research and see who's on these committees, and to get in touch with them. I don't have a handgun. Not interested in carrying a handgun, so I guess I shouldn't have said that. There's people tell me because of what I do, sometimes I need to carry one, that I put myself in danger, but I just don't. But anyway, so there's the issue on that. So if you were looking forward to not having to purchase a handgun carry permit so that you can carry a gun, well, you can forget it. The state legislature killed that apparently today, according to this article. So let me get back to the director of school search. I was hoping I had an email by now, and I don't see it, that we set some, no, I'm looking, I don't see it. We set some requirements last night for, the committee, of course, it has to be voted on and passed, to what we want out of the new director of schools. And those are that, I didn't bring my papers with me, but off the top of my head, a couple of them, they want somebody that has an educator's license, but they would prefer, along with that they have an administrator's license. Then a master's degree is required, but they would prefer somebody with an EDS or a doctorate. And then you have to have at least a certification for a supervisory position or administrator's position. Now the reason that was set is because in the first one it said, an educator license is required, but would prefer an administrator's license. Well, there's a big difference between an administrator's license and administrator certification. So, if you don't have an administrator's license, you're going to have the certification for an administrator or a supervisory position, okay? And then one of the final things that we discussed was that you have to have at least 10 years experience in elementary or secondary education, with at least 5 of those years being in administration. So it's a total of 10. You can have as many years as you please, but we're requiring a minimum of 10 years in the educational system, but at least 5 of those years have to be in administration itself. And of course, one of the things that the school board had set before we even got to this position, so this was off, it wasn't a discussable matter. The school board had set up that you have to be somebody that lives in Campbell County or owns property in Campbell County. So conceivably, if you work in a different school system somewhere else, in Knoxville, Oak Ridge, somewhere else, as long as you own property here, you can still apply for this position. Okay, and the feeling on that is that we talked about it last night. The feeling on that is if somebody owns property here, they probably had long ties to the county at some point in time. Maybe they're from here and they've just moved away for a job or something. But they've got long ties to the county and have strong feelings. I guess for lack of a better way of saying, a passion to come in here and do a good job. Okay, because if you don't have the desire, if it's just a job to you, and it's just waking up and going off to work and putting in your 7 or 8 hours, whatever it is, and going home, well, that's just I'm not sure that's the kind of person that the school board's looking for. I think they want somebody that has a passion to do a good job. Okay, because it's just different when you folks know it's different when you enjoy the work that you do, and you're into that work to do the best job you can do, as opposed to somebody that, hey, I'm going just to get a paycheck and come home. If you have a personal investment in it, it seems to be you want to do a better job. It's just that simple, than somebody that, hey, it's just a paycheck to me, so. Well, the phone ain't rung yet. I'm curious if anybody's watching. So, I know my buddy, Mr. Slusher, I'm trying to find out, gave a speech the other night at the county commission meeting, and we talked about this. And he was discussing the fact that he's a former member of the Financial Management Committee, and we talked about the fact that they don't have a policy and procedures manual in the county for a lot of different things. Like this this business they're doing, having to replace the ambulance director, and they're having to vote on the road superintendent. There's no policy and procedures manual set up. Each time they get into something like that, they have to sit and discuss how they do that. Whereas you could put a policy and procedures manual together telling you when something like this comes up, well, this is how you do it. Like the change orders down at and as something goes on, the change orders have been a huge discussion since this new commission came on. You could put those things in a policy and procedures manual, and and do those things for show you how to do those things each time, so that the county commission don't have to sit there and argue for an hour or two about how to do this. Okay, and I think Mr. Slusher told me that Mayor Morton told him afterwards, that's something that they need to get done, get a policy and procedures manual put together, and get that done. So let me see. That's okay. You're on the air.
Hello, Jerry.
Hello.
I'm the one called you last week about out there at the White Bridge.
Okay.
Ramp. Did you find out anything about it?
I talked to a couple of people about that. There seems to be a difference of opinion on that, and I haven't been able to find out which one is correct. Okay, the state is handling most of the finances, I guess, through the TWRA. okay? But now I did have one county commissioner, and hopefully he's watching, and hopefully the other county commissioner is watching that I talked to. And when I make this statement, hopefully both of them maybe text me and tell me if the one that told me this is correct, okay? I had one county commissioner tell me, said, yes, the state is picking all of that up except for $10,000. And one county commissioner told me that the Campbell County is having to front $10,000 for that boat ramp, but the state, again, I think through the TWRA, is picking up the rest of whatever it costs, okay? But now here's the point, okay? People have been putting boats in out there for years, right? This is what I was told. They're only putting this boat ramp in because some of those people's boats are dragging the ground as they put in. Well, I'm sorry for that. You know what? I'm sorry for that. But I don't think we need to be spending our tax dollars to make it more convenient for somebody. They can put their boat in somewhere else, is my opinion. If that's too shallow out there to put your boat in, we don't need to be spending our tax dollars, mine and yours, to make it more convenient for them to put their boat in right there, okay? What if they decide they're going to move down the road and kind of dig out their own boat ramp somewhere else? Are we going to go spend more money to help them out down there too?
That's the truth.
You see what I'm saying?
We had a caller last week that the state was paying for all of it.
Right.
But in the paper, I've still got the paper.
Okay.
Jeff Marlowe in Campbell County to bid it out. And if the state was doing it, they would bid it out. They wouldn't put with Campbell County.
Well, I haven't read that article. What week was that in there? I'll try to go back and look at that.
Week before last.
Week before last. Okay, I'll try to go. I should be able to pull that up here. You got it there? What page is it on?
I had it here, but I've lost it.
Okay, I'll try to find that. But now a lot of times, the state will send in money through here that we have to incorporate in our bid process to make that, because it is a local issue, the money that we use to do that actually come through here. That happens quite a bit. I'm not saying that that's what's happening here, because I didn't do any research on it. I just talked to a couple of county commissioners, and I kind of went on what they said. Okay, but one of them absolutely did tell me that the county is having to put up $10,000, and he told me, he said, and all it's about is because there's some people saying their boats are dragging as they put them in. Okay, well, I'm sorry about that. Go put your boat down at the boat dock. Go put it somewhere else. That ain't minding your responsibility.
It's not when they're hollering they ain't got no money for this and that.
That's right. That's absolutely right. That's just like I had a discussion with somebody today. Somebody said, the school board ought to go ahead and put $650,000 or whatever it is into the putting that AstroTurf or whatever they're wanting to put on the football field up there. Well, I told him, I said, you get the school board going and spending $650,000 on a football field up there and see how many people don't come down there for a lynching. Because if we got $650,000 to spend on something, it better be going into the classroom.
I don't remember the commissioners ever voting on it or talking about it.
On what?
That boat ramp to you.
I don't remember that. I don't remember that. Maybe that could be a meeting I missed. I really don't know. But again, it's like I say, it's one that the commissioner, one of the commissioners I talked to said that it's costing the county $10,000 to do this, and I just don't. I don't see the I don't need to see the need for $10,000 of my tax dollars going just to make it easier for somebody to put a boat in out there at the White Bridge Park. They can go somewhere else and do that.
That's the truth,
because I'm sure there's other places that are more convenient, that they can do that. I don't see the need for that. I'm trying to find this on the, I've got, I think the last issue in February. You think that's where it's at? That would be two weeks
It
ago.
could be. I had the paper pulled out here and I can't find it nowhere.
Okay. Well, if you can find it,
I saved that.
well, I'm gonna try to find it. But anyway, yeah, I did a little research. I didn't do a lot. Because once I got, to be honest with you, once I got picked to be on this committee, on the school board, they sent me 170-some page document and said, you need to read this, before, the first meeting.
I'll be looking for that paper, and if I find it, I'll call you back and let you know exactly where it's at.
Well, here we go. Right here it is.
Oh, you found it good.
I've got it. It said, Campbell County Department of Finance is hereby soliciting bids for additional boat ramp at Lonis Young Park. Sealed bids will be accepted until March the 10th. Be open, read aloud. So yeah, the county reserve successful bidder 1 year from the award. So yeah, Campbell County's put a bid out there. Apparently they opened those bids yesterday. You're right. So, we need to find out the funding for that's what we need to find out.
Oh, yes.
Okay?
I appreciate you investigating that.
Okay, I'll look into that some more now that I see this, okay?
Okay, it's good talking to you.
Thank you, buddy. Okay, bye. Well, I had a caller there. Give me a call back. If you look on the last issue in February, if you want to read this, it's on page 19 about the boat dock, if that's something you're interested in. You're on the air.
Yeah, good evening, Jerry. This is Jim Slusher.
Hey, buddy. Did I get that right, what I said?
Yeah,
Okay.
on the boat ramp,
Yeah.
I'd like to point out that I assume this boat ramp was built by the county.
Well, they said they're soliciting bids for an additional boat ramp is what it says.
Yeah, but I thought you said the ramp they're using is damaging boats when they...
That's what I was told. That's what I was told. I don't know if there's a ramp out there, is there?
I don't know either, but I can tell you that if it's a county ramp and it's maintained by the county,
Yeah.
there may be an implied warranty on the part of the county that the boat ramp is safe to use, such as what's happened on Interstate 75.
Okay, so you're saying if it's damaging boats and the county did this, the county may be liable for the damages?
It would seem reasonable that
Okay.
they are, yeah, because by having it open and it being maintained by the county, I would assume that there's some kind of implied warranty that it's safe to use.
Okay.
Just like the potholes on I-75.
Yeah.
You have a damage fund set up by the state to cover damages to automobiles that hit the potholes.
And that's the fact, folks. In case you don't know that, let me make the viewers aware of that, Mr. Slusher. I did talk to one tire company here, here in town last week, and they did tell me if your car was damaged by one of the potholes, and you can prove it, that the state actually is paying for the repairs to the cars. There's a fund set up, and I think you do that through your insurance company, and your insurance company contacts TDOT, and they will take care of that.
So I would assume the same principle applies, and it probably goes back to old common law that if you travel the highways and the byways, then you assume that they're safe.
Well, now I thought, Mr. Slusher, because we don't own the lakes.
I don't know.
The TWRA generally controls the lakes. I thought boat docks were put in by the TWRA, not the county.
I don't know. I know the latest one I think was put in by the state.
I think you're talking about the Ray Wilson one?
But yeah.
The Ray Wilson one down in Caravan on Queener Road. My understanding, TWRA did 100% did that one.
Yeah. I would like to mention one thing about the concealed weapons permit.
Okay.
I like you.
And hold a minute, it's a carry permit. It's not a concealed weapons permit.
Well, the carry permit.
It's a carry permit.
But I, like you, don't carry a weapon, but I do have a concealed weapons permit.
Okay.
But the reason why I don't carry a weapon is that, and you know, you choose your own device. But
Right.
when I studied up on the laws and the liabilities and so forth that goes along with carrying a weapon and what's happened with the Zimmerman case and all the police that have shot people and the resulting outcome, and it generally comes back on them, it's not worth the effort.
Right.
Also, if you don't have a concealed weapons permit, you cannot carry across state lines because other states require a concealed weapons permit to carry.
Well, I didn't think ours.
Oh yeah, our concealed weapons permit, I think the last time I looked, it was either 21 or 25 states that have reciprocity with Tennessee.
And they recognize it.
And we all recognize each other's carry permit. Well, if you don't have a carry permit, how are you going to carry in another state? They're
Right.
not going to say, well, Tennessee doesn't require it, so we're not going to require it.
Yeah.
So, you know, it opens a Pandora's box. And even though it's pretty doggone easy to get a concealed weapons permit, all you've got to do is be able to read and write and not have a criminal record.
Right.
I didn't find it very taxing at all to get a permit to use.
You know, do you even have to qualify your shooting ability when you go to that, or is it just
You squeeze off a few rounds, you know, and target and
okay?
show them, you know, which end.
Well, I doubt I could hit a target, is what I'm saying.
Does the damage which end.
Yeah.
That's a bad thing.
I mean, I doubt I could hit a target. Could I still, you know, if I went to one of those classes, if I couldn't hit a target with great accuracy, would I still be allowed to get a permit?
You might get a social pass.
Is that what I might? Okay. So,
That's my 2 cents worth.
okay.
Thank you.
So, hey, what about the policy and procedures manual that I brought up? Didn't
Well, you know,
did Mayor Morton say something to you about that?
yes, he did on departure, and also the county commission did too.
Okay.
And I think, you know, we've got a good county commission, and I think they realize that when you're dealing with projects of $1 million
Right.
and over $1 million or around $1 million in change orders, and you don't know what's up, that perhaps you might need a policy and procedures manual.
Well, that's right. And you know,
What a change order is, and when it's justified, and when it's not justified, and who should pay, and so forth. And probably that procedure manual is in bits and pieces strung out everywhere, and what you need to do is sit down, pull it all together, and write you up a manual, just like Mr. Marlowe and I developed, along with Joe Coker, a purchasing manual when I was on the FMS committee, and it's a strong manual, and it covers the whole 9 yards.
well, and my thinking is, you know, the procedure for picking the replacement on this, the ambulance director and the road superintendent and all that, you can make a procedure for that and put that in this manual that if you ever needed to do this, it's there already. Am I correct?
That's correct.
Something that you can follow instead of having to sit there and argue.
Get out in law somewhere.
Yeah.
And again, to have a policy manual that covers all the operations and procedures of the county in one central location sure gets rid of a lot of the guessing game. People can go to it. It should be online.
It should be online. The school board has one and it's online.
The city of La Follette has one, and theirs is online.
Yeah.
I know when I was interested in something, I went directly online and found it.
Right.
And you can't find anything on Campbell County online.
Right. Well, the school board has a policy manual that I discovered last night. I didn't know it before last night, but it is actually online that you can go find it.
Yeah, the school board has a good one.
Yeah. You know, so.
The government has nothing.
Right. Well, from what I understand, what you're saying about Mayor Morton, we're going to get one. It'll take a while to develop it, but we're going to get one.
Yeah, you don't do it overnight.
No, it'll take a while. And of course, they'll have to argue about it for months and months and months down there, won't they?
Yeah, oh yeah.
They will. So there you go. So
Really, it's to make to make things uniform.
Yeah,
It leads to transparency.
right.
A lot of times people don't understand why certain things are done certain ways. If you've got a policy manual, there it is.
There you go. Just go to it, and then, and that's what I'm thinking, because, you sat there and I did. You sit there and listen to them talk about how are we going to go about this vote on picking the next ambulance director, and how are we going to go about this vote on and they sit there and argue about it. Well, if you have it in this manual, you say, hey, it's spelled out in the manual. This is where we're going to do it.
Here it is.
Here it is. We don't have to argue for 2 meetings about this.
Absolutely.
Okay. Thank you, buddy.
Thank you.
Okay. You're on the air.
Hey, big guy,
Hey, buddy.
you find out anything from City of Carroll about who's applying for chief of police?
Well, let's talk about that a minute. I was going to bring that up.
Are they still trying to run a secret city?
No. Let me tell you what I found out.
Hey, making atomic bombs down there for Iran.
Yesterday, this is Hazel Valley on the phone. Yesterday, was it yesterday
Yeah,
or Monday?
probably both days. Let's just count both.
Okay, let's count them both. Sometime Monday or Tuesday, I called down to the city of Carroll. I wanted to know who has applied for the chief of police position in the city of Carroll. And I was told this, folks. I promise you, I was told this. They said that is confidential information, and we're not allowed to give that information out, is what I was told. And I'm sitting here thinking, okay, that is a public position. That is a taxpayer's position. Honeybee, is something wrong in there?
No, I'm trying to get the next.
Okay. I apologize. I saw Honeybee walk in the studio and I thought maybe something was going wrong. So, but anyway, that's a taxpayer position. It is a public position, as far as I know. And I called Hazel Valley because he does a lot of research in the law. And I asked him, I said, help me find out if this is legal or not. Because I didn't think it was legal, and come to find out, it's not legal, is what I was told later on. Hazel Valley, I talked to Vicki Heatherly, who's on the council last night, and she told me a couple of factors. She told me that the citizen committee that they had put together to work on picking the police chief, they determined that wasn't proper in the city of Carroll. It wasn't proper to do that. So she told me they disbanded that citizens committee. That's not going to happen. She also told me, she said, Jerry, you were told wrong. Apparently she had heard about your quest for the information and my quest for the information, and said all you have to do is send in a written request to the city recorder, and you will get that they will get you that information. So you want to tell what you did and how you were shut down on that?
Well, I called the city recorder.
Okay.
And I specifically asked for the city recorder, and she said, that's me.
Okay.
Because the law, Tennessee Code Annotated, clearly specifies the city recorder is in charge of public records.
Right.
The word public being the key, okay?
Right.
Now, she wouldn't tell me anything and referred me to Kathy Parrott.
Right.
She was the candidate for Sessions judge back in August.
Right.
Well,
And Kathy Parrott is, let's make this clear, Kathy Parrott is the city of Carroll's attorney.
yes,
Yes.
that's why they referred me to her.
That's why she was
Her
referred.
office.
Yeah.
She refused to talk to me. Only the secretary was allowed to talk to me, and they were very interesting. Like I asked for Kathy Parrott's business email so I could send her a message regarding this issue.
Right.
Because the city recorder told me I had to go through the city attorney.
And the city recorder told me the same thing.
And the city attorney's office wasn't cooperative at all. And so I asked for their email address so I could send them a request. I said, emails are now considered legal documents under the law,
Right.
as well as fax and certified letters even,
Right.
So I thought I would send a request by email. Well, they refused to give me their email. address
Yeah.
at Kathy Parrott's law firm. So I said, well, give me your mailing address. Well, she rattled that right off. I said, now that you give me your mailing address, give me your email address. She hung up on me.
Huh, okay.
So, you know, at least they will give you one address, but not the other.
Right.
Isn't that very strange behavior on the part of the city recorder and also on the part of Kathy Parrott's secretary?
Well, now to the city recorders,
Now, even Kathy Parrott has refused to take my phone call.
yeah. Now to the city recorder's defense, let me say this. When I talked to her, she told me she was never given that information because the city attorney deemed that information to be confidential and that those applications were sent directly to her. They didn't actually come through the city. They went to the city's attorney.
Okay, she didn't tell me that.
She told me that. She told me that. She said they were sent to a special post office box that the city's attorney had that didn't go to the city. And the recorder told me, she said, I've never been given this information. I don't have it. She said,
Tell me that. She just told me it was confidential and I need to call Kathy Parrott.
right. Well, the city recorder down there, I've known her a long time. You know, and you know, I've been friends with her family and known them for a long time. And, you know, she probably talked to me maybe a little different as a friend, maybe a little different than you. I don't know. But she's a real sweet lady, real nice lady, doing a great job down there. But she told me, she said, I don't have it.
Well,
For some reason, the attorney was trying to keep it confidential.
well, that's really interesting that Kathy Parrott would be the one behind that. Now, I was told to submit it in writing
Right.
to the city of Caryville. They would forward it to her for consideration.
Right.
But hey, if they're not going to even take your phone call and give you that information over the phone, which is public information,
Right.
then essentially they are contributing to the city recorder's violation of Tennessee Code Annotated.
Right. Which, you know, the city recorder had nothing to do with because they didn't give her the information to give out.
Well, another point about the Tennessee law is it clearly states that the city recorder is in charge of all public records
Right.
that pertain to the city, not the city attorney. It does not say the city attorney can take that authority away from the city recorder. Only the city recorder can be responsible for that information. Now, the city attorney is hired to advise,
Right.
control the information going into that city.
So let's look at this.
Parrott is violating the law by making or ordering the city recorder to violate her law.
So there'd be a possibility. Let me ask you this: in your opinion, my opinion, just you know, somebody that does research, if one of the candidates that didn't get chosen through this process maybe decided, hey, I want to challenge the way this was done, there's a possibility they might have to go back and do this over because the handling of this application has been possibly been improper from the beginning.
We are looking at a possible huge lawsuit against the city of Caryville by one or more people who apply for this job and do not get it.
And don't get it.
Because the law clearly states the city recorder is responsible for this. And the law does not give Kathy Parrott the authority to go down there and take this responsibility away from the city recorder. So basically, she is contributing to the city recorder's violation of Tennessee law, and Kathy Parrott may be in violation of Tennessee law herself,
Right.
and absconding with its authority and information from the city recorder, because it clearly states only the city recorder will be responsible for this data.
Right.
So, hey, funny things going on. Now, who ordered Kathy Parrott to do this? I do not believe she would go out on a limb by herself.
And I don't know the answer to that. I didn't.
And we need to know that. We need to we need a conference. We need Kathy Parrish to go to the United Nations, get in front of that same microphone Hillary was in front of yesterday, and answer these questions in front of 100 reporters.
Yeah.
We need to know who ordered her to do this, or is she doing it on her own?
Right.
And we need to also probably,
Well, I'm guessing if I was one of those candidates for that position, I would want somebody there to ask those questions.
yes, we need to subpoena the hard drives in the Kathy Parrott law office and in the city of Caryville and see what those emails say and who's doing what
Right.
as far as to this situation. So there's a lot of violation of Tennessee Code Annotated. And Tennessee Code Annotated, I'm not an attorney, folks, but Tennessee law is written in English
But you play one on TV, right?
and it's in black and white.
Right.
So, a person can read it.
Well, I just thought it was awful strange when I called and asked for that information and was told that it's confidential. It's
Well-
it's not it's
I know
not.
them all to violate Tennessee Code Annotated.
Yeah.
Hey, there you go.
So
We got another mystery occurring, and
good old Campbell County.
this, after the Republican Party reorganization meeting
Anything's possible, isn't it?
Saturday before last, I'm referring to this as RISIS,
Yeah.
Republican ISIS West.
Well, what do you think about the Republicans killing the handgun carry permit thing?
It's like witch burning in the Middle Ages.
Yeah.
It took a Reformation, a Renaissance, and an Enlightenment to get rid of witch burning.
Right.
Everybody knew it was wrong.
Yeah.
But since so much money is brought into the state treasury, they'd be privileged to kill it.
Do you have one of those permits?
Oh, definitely.
Do you? And now let me ask you: is that a one-time fee, or is that something like a driver's license you have to renew
You renew it every 4 years.
every 4 years?
And,
What does it cost?
I
I read somewhere on here, somebody said $115.
don't think it's that high.
You don't think it's that high?
But Tennessee, just about all these states have reciprocity now, as Mr. Slusher was telling you.
Right.
Now, used to, Tennessee only had about 4 or 5 states that recognized their permit.
Right.
So online, you could order a New Hampshire carry permit for $20,
Okay.
and every state that had carry permits recognized New Hampshire. So they sold a ton of those, but when it came up for renewal, Tennessee had increased the number of states they have reciprocity with, and New Hampshire increased their fee to $100.
Oh, did they?
Fee. So I just dropped New Hampshire because now you don't need it.
Okay.
They used to. Georgia did not recognize Tennessee, and I don't think Florida did either. And I did a lot of driving in both those states, so I needed reciprocity. So I had a New Hampshire carry permit.
Okay.
But now you don't need the New Hampshire. Tennessee's worked out agreements with just about all these states, and it's just now personally, I like to carry.
Right.
I do not like to be more than 2 or 3 feet away from a gun unless I have to go in a courthouse somewhere, or do something in a schoolhouse or a courthouse or something like that.
Okay.
And but it's I admire people like you. See, you're big enough to whoop anybody's butt anyway.
I don't know about all that.
But I'm not.
I'm too big to run from them.
So anyway,
You know what?
hey, great show. Keep it up.
Thank you, buddy.
Okay.
Okay. I missed a couple of calls there, folks. Call back. I'll try my best to get you in. I apologize about that. If somebody calls and we're just getting started and somebody else calls, I'm going to let, just like you, if you call in and somebody, you get started in 15, 20 seconds, and I'm going to let you continue your call until you're finished, and I apologize for doing that. I found out this evening, if you want to know this, a honeybee here at the station was telling me, I didn't realize they were doing this, but within the last 3 or 4 weeks, they're recording these shows, and as they record these shows, shortly after they're recorded, they're put on YouTube. And Honeybee said, I've got a message here to remind me about this. If you go to 1450WLAF.com, which is WLAF's home webpage, and folks, I read it every day. I probably read it 2 or 3 times every day. They generally have real good information on there about what's going on in the county. Have real good stories on there. Charlotte does a great job, and even old Boomer occasionally will do a good job. But if you go on to 1450WLAF.com, she says go down the right side of the page. You can see everything that they have on YouTube. Click on WLF on the right side, and somehow you can, I'll have to look and see how that's done. You can go to the YouTube page. Well, I'm on WLF's website right now. Let me see where that's at. I'm not seeing that. Okay.
Right hand side.
Okay.
Right after the Jerry Gray's path,
Right up.
in between primary care, there's like a WLAF, and sometimes it changes to audio, video, and
On the right hand side?
right hand side. It ain't
Okay.
very far down the path.
I don't see the Jerry Gray ad. It's not on there tonight, Honeybee.
Yeah, it is.
Somebody must have took it off. Oh, I see it. Okay, it's flashed to Gary Gray. Okay, it's flashing to some. It flashed to something else.
All right, if you right
Okay.
below his ad, there's a little black.
There's a little black box that says News Sports WLAF. It's down below the Gary Gray ad. I see. It's just just barely down the page. If you'll hit that WLAF box, let me see. You're on the air,
Yeah, hey, Jerry, on that, carrying permit, that handgun permit,
right?
it's $50 every 4 years.
It's $50 every 4 years.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, all I'm looking here, I see they're putting a lot of videos on there now. That's pretty good. Oh, there's the video of the mayor when I had the mayor on there last week. So, do you have one?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah, I've got a permit to carry, but now, that guy's understanding they're good here and yonder, but there's just so many states that you can carry it in line with Tennessee.
Okay. Well, now, Mr. Slusher called in and he said he thought there was about 21 states that there was. I don't know. I don't have a permit.
They are been added into it.
You know, I'll just be honest with you and I'll say this. My wife has never allowed me to carry a handgun. She said, we're not going to have one in my house. And that's just the way it is. And we've been married 27 years. And that's the way it is.
Well,
Now, not that we don't have guns in the house, but we don't have a handgun. You know, she won't let me carry a handgun out in public. Okay?
man,
She said, we're not going to do that. So,
but now they said that you didn't have to have a permit to carry one in Tennessee.
right.
Well, but if you go to an oncoming state to go through,
Yeah,
to have a Tennessee permit that you paid for in order to carry it there.
right. Okay. So,
Hey, you got a good show. Keep it going there.
appreciate it, buddy. Well, we're learning more. Thank you, buddy.
Thank you.
Well, we're learning more and more about the handgun carry permits because folks, I just don't, I don't have one to carry out in public. Like I say, we have guns, but we're not carrying them out in public, and I don't begrudge anybody that does. Except for recently we had a situation where in a local restaurant, somebody was handling a firearm, a little handgun. My understanding is during lunchtime, and it was a crowded restaurant, and that handgun went off. Okay, this is and I don't know why, but nothing ever became of that situation. Okay, I don't know if that had been me, I'd have probably been under the jail right now because they'd said I would have, endangered people's lives. But for whatever reason, the person that was handling this gun and it went off in a crowded restaurant. It seems like nobody ever said anything about it, so just like most other things, I guess, depending on who you are in Campbell County, you can do what you want and get away with what you want. You know, some of the rest of us, we're held to stricter standards by the law. You know, so, you know, so it's, you know, sometimes to me the handgun, it's just a dangerous situation. So, but I am looking at this. Honeybee told me if you want to look at the archives, I see the you know, three of my shows on here. I see the one where the mayor, you know, the county mayor here was here a 3 weeks ago for the whole hour. That's on there if you want to go back and watch that and hear what the mayor had to say. There's a show that Mr. Slusher and I did, I guess back in February. So that's pretty neat. I didn't know they were doing that. I appreciate that. I didn't know that. So you know, when somebody asked me, "Can you watch the show?" I'll guide them to that site. You know. So, but anyway, probably got time for one more, maybe two quick, probably one call. You know, I appreciate the folks that's called in. We've tried to get out a lot of information to you tonight. You know, as we try to every week, and we're going to have more meetings on this director of schools things. One thing I will point out to you, the local media, I don't know if it's changed yet or not. The school board had announced they were going to do their best to have the new director in place by May 1st. Well, as we had our meeting last night, we discussed it and we looked at the requirements for the 30 days on the application period. Then you've got a process where once that 30 days is up, you open those applications up and you look at them, the resumes and all that, and then you decide who you're going to interview, and then you've got a 2 to 3 week process of interviewing those folks. Well, there was just no way that that's going to get done by May 1st simply because of the time involved in what's required by state law. Well, that's been changed to May 15th, that they're going to try to have that by May 15th, the new director in place. Because when Donnie was here on the 6th, I was hoping to have the new director here then, but that's just not going to work out. You're on the air.
Hey, Jerry, I want to tell you, there's no truer words said than what you said a while ago about the people in Campbell County.
Yeah.
Who you are is what they get to do.
Right.
But that's true.
Well, I mean, I know for a fact that if I'd been sitting in this crowded restaurant handling a gun and it went off and put a hole in the wall, with, you know, in a crowded during lunch hour when it was crowded, you know, the police would have been called right away and I'd have been put under the jail. Okay. But because this was a popular, you know, I'm going to be honest with you, I'm not going to mention the person's name. But he's a popular politician that folks love around here and love for years. It was just kind of like, well, we know it was you, so it's okay. So, honey, we about ready?
All right, thanks, Jerry.
Okay, thank you, buddy. So, folks, remember, Riggs Drugs, you know, remember those folks. Go trade your business with those folks. And Vital Care. If you call 911, ask for Vital Care, and they'll get a hold of Vital Care and send them out to take care of you. That's a good operation. John and Jeff Bond and his folks down there running that. You know, or call them directly out there, or when you call 911, ask for Vital Care. And we'll see you next week. We'll be back next week. Thank you.